What's up, what's good, what's poppin'? It's your girl Savvy Rose, and I'm back today with another video.
The beauty of the world, Savannah. Let's all take a walk, Savannah.
As I have always said and will always say, if you can't already tell by the title what this video is going to be about, it either means that you didn't read it or you can't read. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you, today on this lovely Wednesday afternoon, I am doing a story time video. And I'm going to be telling you guys the story of the time I got kicked out of school. Yeah, I got kicked out. With that being said, let's jump right into this video. Okay, so right now I'm a senior in high school. However, when I got kicked out, I was a freshman. And at this time, I was at this charter school. And if you don't know what a charter school is, it's basically a free private school. So you still wear uniforms and everything. They just don't have to follow the rules of the public schools. They make up their own rules and everything like that. So I was going to a charter school, one of the best charter schools in the state of Florida. And my freshman year, I had already made up my mind what's going to be that. Like, I wasn't going to let nobody mess it up, right? Mind you, I had always gone to this charter school. This was just the high school version. The high school version went from 7th grade to 12th grade. There were 3 branches. There was 2 elementaries and one that was an elementary and a middle school, and then there was one that was a middle school and a high school. So I had graduated from the elementary middle school and became a high schooler. Because this was a charter school and it was kind of hard to get into, there were a lot of white people at this school. But my freshman year, there were particularly a lot of black people that year, and I didn't really like it because the black people that were already there that were kind of grew up in that school, you know, it was kind of our school. Like, we were the black kids. Like, we don't need no more. Like, this is our school. Like, we're the black faces of the school kind of thing. Not to sound racist or anything like that, but that's what we were. But we got used to it, and quickly we made friends with, you know, the other black kids. Like, we clicked, whatever. And there was the 3 girls that rode my bus. They were the first black girls I saw because they rode my bus. So the first day of school, it was like, what's going on? And you get off the bus and it was like, oh. And I'm not going to say their names. So I'm going to call them Angel, Annabelle, and Olivia. So Angel, Annabelle, and Olivia all rode my bus, and I became really good friends with Angel and her little sister, Ebony. And then me, Angel, Ebony, and Annabelle got close. And Annabelle had a cousin named, we'll call her Genesis. So, and Genesis had also known Olivia. So they were all like friends already, I guess. So long story short, we were all good friends and everything was going smoothly until we weren't. I can't really recall why me and Olivia stopped being friends, but we did. There was one morning I was in the cafeteria with my best friend at the time. His name was Michael. And we were just horseplaying around, and Michael took my phone. And, you know, I don't play with my phone, da-da-da-da. So I went around the table to go get it from him, and I bumped into Olivia. And Olivia, I guess, felt like I did it on purpose. So she was all, oh, I ain't the one. Today's not the day to be messing with me, da-da-da-da. I said, girl, nobody was thinking about you. Like, I'm trying to get my cell phone, right? So she got all big and bad or whatever, and was talking all this junk. So she was not trying to hear nothing I was saying. So I dropped my bag. And I guess my lotion fell out. And she was all like, oh, you need to pick up that lotion because you gonna need it. Da, da, da. Like, that was supposed to be an insult. Like, girl, I carry lotion because it's cold and black people get ashy. Like, what? That's not an insult. So the way our cafeteria was set up at the time, it was this long hallway. Like, you come out of the cafeteria and there's this long hallway right here, and then you take this quick turn either this way, this way. This way is the office, and this way is just to the other entrance of the cafeteria or to classrooms. So she had turned this way, and she had turned around, and she scratched me. Because I guess, I don't know why. I really don't remember why she scratched me. But I got scratched. And I don't remember if it was on accident or on purpose. But she had these long acrylic nails, so it was like whoosh. And that blew me. So I told Angel, I said, hold my stuff. So we standing, across from each other in this big circle of people with their iPads, because my school required iPads. And so everybody had an iPad. So they were holding their iPads ready to record or whatever. So I got real close to her face. I had her up against the brick wall. And I was like, if you want to do something, go ahead and do it. Like, I'm right here. Like, stop talking. I'm right here. The bell rang. She didn't do nothing. I got myself and I went to class. I didn't have time for, like, if you're not going to do nothing when I give you the opportunity, then you're lame. Like, what? You a goof. We got called out to the office and, blah, 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 all this stuff happened. I went to the clinic. I was like, this girl scratched me. Like, I didn't touch her. Like, I got in her face, but she scratched me. And, of course, it was gone by then. So they were like, oh, I don't see nothing. Oh, so you think I'm lying? Oh, okay, cool, whatever. So I believe I got suspended for 2 days for that one. And that was really just the start of a downhill slope, really. So after I came back from suspension, everything was like, everybody's like, oh my gosh, you're back, da 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 da. I'm like, yeah. And now all of a sudden, Annabelle, Olivia, and Genesis don't like me. And of course, Olivia wouldn't like me, but Annabelle and Genesis didn't like me because they kind of stuck with Olivia. So I was like, okay, it's whatever, like, it's nothing important. Now, mind you, I didn't tell you, but Olivia is a big girl. She is really big at the top and small at the bottom. And then she had, like, grills. She was real dark. And she had the long nails. And she always had, like, different weaves, right? Well, me and her had a class together. So in our classes, we weren't allowed to sit next to each other. We weren't allowed to talk to each other. Nothing like that. Because they didn't want anything else happening. Which is pretty self-explanatory. And I believe the next incident that happened was with Annabelle. Now, mind you, I had been suspended for other little stuff. Like, me and my best friend, Jakiria, had got into this little fight, got suspended for horseplaying. Everybody hyped that up like, oh my God, I saw Savannah crying. She had a black eye. She was bleeding. Da, da, da. None of that happened. Nothing too important until I started being harassed. Like, for real. Like, Annabelle, Genesis, and Olivia would, like, real deal harassing me. Like, it got to the point where the administration was telling me, oh, just ignore it, like, it'll go away. They're only doing it because they know you letting it get to them, or they know that you're letting it get to you. There was just this one morning I couldn't take it, and we were all sitting outside the cafeteria just chilling, and Olivia goes, oh, it's Petty Friday, da 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 da. And, I'm minding my own business, not even worried about her. And she was like, she said something about, it was something along the lines of keeping my legs closed or something about my body count or something like that. Something that wasn't true, but it set me off because of how, like, wrong she was. She just thought she knew me. I was like, girl, you don't know me, like, from a can of paint, from dirt. You don't know me at all. So we got into this little argument or whatever, and it got real face-to-face. She kept telling me to back up, and I was like, I mean, if you want to do something, then do it. Like, I kept giving this girl opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to fight me. Like, she a goof, like, for real, like, wasn't even worried about her. So after that, I went to class, and I waited to be called up to the office. Like, literally, like, they called me up, got suspended for another 2 days, Then that's when the Annabelle situation happened, because, like I said, I wasn't allowed to talk to them, about them, around them, nothing, which is crazy. I was on behavioral probation. I wasn't allowed to talk to them, about them, around them. I wasn't allowed to start a fight, get in an argument, nothing, or I could be kicked out, right? So I'm trying to stay good, right? And I hear that Annabelle's mom came down to the school because Annabelle told her I was talking about her. Mind you, I'm on probation, and I'm not trying to do anything to break that, right? So I'm sitting here thinking, like, when was I talking about her? When? And mind you, I had heard from somebody who was in the office at the time that her mom came up there, So I got blowed. So the next morning on the bus, I was sitting with Angel, and I was like, yo, she mad childish. Who calls their mom in high school because somebody's talking about them? She a child. She a baby. Like, I shouldn't have to deal with this. Like, this is crazy, trying to get me in trouble for something I didn't even do. Like, you telling your mother that people talking about you. Like, what are you, 6? You're in high school, boo-boo. You're not in middle school no more. And I was saying it out loud so she could hear me, but I wasn't saying it to her, and I did not use her name. So, technically, I wasn't talking about her. Technically. I guess word got to the dean of students, and she called me down, and she was like, were you talking about such and such on the bus? I was like, no, I didn't use her name, so technically I was not talking about her. She was like, Savannah, were you talking about her? And I was like, yeah, because I heard that she told her mom some of her, and her mom came down to the school. And she was like, well, I don't know where you heard that from. They're just trying to start drama because her mom didn't come down to the school. Now, I had a good relationship with the dean of students just because of how many times I had been down to the office. But I didn't necessarily trust her because you can't really trust administration. Like, they'd be the first ones to lie on you in a parent-teacher conference. Like, so I didn't necessarily trust what she was saying because I had heard from Angel's sister and I had heard from Angel's friends that her mom was down there. And I heard her from someone that was in the office at the time that her mom came down there, So I wasn't really, like, feeling it. Nope. She was like, if you talk about her again, you're going to get suspended. And that's on me. And I was just like, all right, whatever. It was a couple mornings later. I was with my friend, and we're going to call her Lisa. Mind you, Lisa and Annabelle are best friends now. And Lisa's fake. And I'll tell you why in a minute. So I was with my friend Lisa, and we were walking to the cafeteria. We were standing in the line waiting for breakfast because I would get breakfast and give it to Lisa because I don't eat breakfast. And we were standing in line, and mind you, when you walk into our cafeteria, there was, the line, the breakfast line. And then when you get in there, you're behind a wall, so you can't see nothing, but you can hear. And so I turned to Lisa, I was like, something's finna go down. Something's not right. Something's about to happen. She's like, girl, what you talking about? I was like, I feel it. Something's gonna happen. We get close to we're getting close to the exit, and I hear, where's she at? Where's she at? Da 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 da. I turned to her, I said, I told you something's gonna go down. So she was like, okay, well, let's just get out of here. So I was like, okay. So we got our breakfast, and we went and sat down. We didn't see Genesis because the girl that was like, where's she at was Genesis, which is Annabelle's cousin. And, we already knew her voice. We didn't have to see her to know who it was. So we sat down. We looking around the cafeteria. We didn't see her. So we just ate our food, and we left. So we're outside the cafeteria in front of these little benches. And around the corner comes Genesis. And she was like, keep my cousin's name out your mouth. Da 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 da. Don't let me catch you talking about my cousin ever again, or else, da da da. And I was looking at her like, girl. And I told her, I was like, this is America. It's a free country. I can talk about her if I want to. You're not gonna do anything. She was like, you're not supposed to. Davey told you to keep her name out your mouth. Da da da. I said, see, that was supposed to be a confidential conversation. Now I ain't gotta listen to nobody. So, and that's what I said. I was like, I don't have to listen to the dean of students. Like, really at all. And from around the corner comes Annabelle, and she's crying. She's in my face. Leave my cousin out of this. Like, she got nothing to do with this. It's between me and you. I'm looking at her like, are you really crying about this? Really? And this whole time we're having this argument, Olivia's in the back behind Genesis, and my best friend at the time, or my other best friend at the time, we're gonna call her Maddie, was recording. And I'm like, I didn't know that she was recording until afterwards. And I thought it was funny. I was like, I didn't think nothing of it because we didn't fight, we just argued, like, what? So we get to class, and all these people are getting called down to the office. And I'm like, what's going on? So I get called down to the office, and I am literally in the office all day long. Literally, like, I had to be escorted by the dean of students to go get my lunch. I couldn't go get my lunch by myself. I was in the office all day long. Come to find out, Maddie had given the dean of students the video. Now, mind you, because we were a charter school, we didn't have to follow public school rules, and she did not have to give her personal cell phone. I was like, that blew me. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, why did you give that to her? So she had the video. And she was calling all these people down that were in the video, that were witnesses, and asking all these questions. So it gets to the end of the day, and there's a cop there. A cop shows up, right? And he comes out, and he's a little cross-eyed. So he was like, you, come here. I was like, me? He was like, who else? I didn't know who he was looking at. So I was like, so I got up, I went to the office, and she was telling me that basically I harassed her, and I could be charged with harassment, and because it was on tape. And I was like, she was like, because Annabelle was sitting right there, right? So, mind you, I have witnesses, sources, and proof that Annabelle was not there. She was across the courtyard crying to another one of my friends at the time. We're going to name her Sarah. She was crying to Sarah, and she came across the courtyard, walked up, and hopped in the video. But while I was trying to explain that, my DNC was going to be like, oh, shut up. I was like, shut up. So I stopped talking, and she was like, we're going to show your dad this video, da, da, da. Like, it's not a sex tape. You didn't catch me having sex in the bathroom. I don't care. Show him the video. Like, what? So, and I apologized to her. I was like, I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Da, 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 da. So when my dad got there, the cop was all like, oh, she's so polite. You know, she was saying, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. She apologized, all this stuff. But when she showed my dad the video, my dad was just worried about me cursing. And I was like, what? I was mad. You know, like, to be G, like, that's what I said. I was mad. And the dean of students was like, you know, this is harassment. My dad was like, well, what about my daughter? Because they threatened her. And, you know, she was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, the girl said, keep my cousin's name out your mouth or else. And where I come from, or else what? That's a threat. So what's going to happen to them? And, of course, nothing happened to them. But she told him, oh, I can't, you know, tell you that information, but believe me, something will happen to them, da 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 da, blah, 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 blah. After this incident, I got suspended for 6 days. 6 days, y'all. Now, mind you, I did say that we had iPads, and we did our work on iPads. However, I was not doing my work over my suspension because I was not in class to learn the information. So when I got back from my suspension, my dean of students had the nerve to tell me,
oh, suspension is a punishment, it's not a vacation. I should have did the work, and my teachers don't have to give me a second chance to do it.
So I was failing. So on top of being suspended, I was failing bad because I was not in class to learn the material. I did not know what I was doing, and nobody would help me but my favorite teacher, Ms. Robinson. She was the only one that had my back and that was giving me a second chance, and of course, she was my only black teacher. So when I got back from that suspension, I had to sign another behavioral contract because I had broke the first one, harassment and arguing and talking to them. So I had broke the first one, so I had to sign another one. But when I came back, it was Labor Day. So we had, or Veterans Day. We were celebrating Veterans Day, sorry, right before we left for Veterans Day. So I was literally in school for like 2 days. But we celebrated Veterans Day, and then we had this little assembly or whatever. And I sat with Angel and Ebony and Jakiria. And guess who came and sat behind me because they knew I couldn't talk to them or about them? Olivia, Annabelle, and Genesis. They sat right behind me. And mind y'all, I used to be in chorus. I left chorus at the end of my 8th grade year. That was my last year doing chorus. So the song that they were singing for Veterans Day, I knew it. So I was singing it with them or whatever, da da da. And they were laughing at me. And they were throwing paper at me. and gum wrappers at me. Literally. So as soon as the pet rally was over, and I think I left a little bit early, but as soon as it was over, I got up and I went and I told her everything that happened, how I was being harassed. That's bullying and harassment. I didn't say anything to the girls. I didn't say nothing at all. So she made me write down everything that happened, and I guess she called them up to the office, and nothing happened to them. At this point, it was out of, there was no way that they were going to actually get me to sit back and not do anything. No way at all. So the funny part, though, is we actually became friends, like me and Olivia. We got over everything, and we got cool with each other because we had 2 classes together. We ended up having to work together, and we got over it. We're like, we're too old for this. I forgave her, she forgave me, and we moved on, right? Me and her was all goody in the hoodie. Me, her, Annabelle, and Genesis, all good. It was all good. We put it behind us. We grew up like grown women. Like, we're in 9th grade now, we grown, you know what I'm saying? So we put it behind us. Then another problem arose. I had a issue with my best friend at the time, Maddie. She had stopped being friends with this one girl. We're going to call her Jessie. She stopped being friends with Jessie. And she thought I could fix that. Now, I did not like Jessie. Not because Jessie did anything to me. It was just, you know how sometimes you get that vibe from people that they just don't have good energy? That doesn't mean they're not a good person, but she just, I don't feel like was the friend for me. I still don't have a problem with her. I don't see myself being friends with her. She's good to her friends, and she's a good person, and she's sweet and everything. But I just never got a good vibe from her. So I never really talked to her. So she was like, oh, can you talk to her? She was like, she just wants to be cordial. She don't really want to be my friend. Like, I want her back, da-da-da. And I told her, I was like, I'm sorry. I don't like her. So you're going to have to find someone that does. She was pissed because I said that. And to me, it makes no sense because I said it so nicely. Like, I was being so honest. Like, I cannot help you. Like, I don't like her as it is. So she stopped being my friend. And to just make that story short, me and her got into this huge argument over text, not social media, not Snapchat, not Instagram, over our own iMessages, back and forth with each other. Told me that someone had FaceTimed me, and I think it was Jakiria, because me and Jakiria, we were a trio, me, her, and Maddie. So Jakiria had FaceTimed me and told me, Maddie wants to drag you. She said she could drag you, da-da-da-da. So I texted Maddie, and I was like, B, if you want to drag me, I will, I'll beat your A, I had bleeped it out and everything. I had put the asterisks and, all that stuff. And it was another morning. I was walking with Lisa. And I was like, me and Maddie got into this huge argument. I feel like something's finna go down. I heard she was looking for me. I need to stay out of trouble. I'm on probation. So she was like, okay, let's just walk around. So, mind you, my Adina students had already got a tip that Maddie was trying to fight somebody. She just didn't know that it was me. So she was already watching the cameras, following Maddie, trying to find out, who it was that she was finna fight. And me and Lisa were just walking around the school trying to avoid Maddie. But we ended up running into her right in front of the office. And she was like, oh, you talking all this junk on social media? I'm right here, da-da-da-da. And I was like, social media? Girl, those were our messages. That was not social media. I was talking directly to you. Like, what are you talking about? I'm scary. I was talking to you. Like, you're right here. Like, what are you talking about? And they're trying to hold her back. And I'm just standing there with Lisa. And I see the dean of students open the door. She's coming out of the office. So I slipped right into the office. A, because I already knew that I was going to get called down to the office for the situation. B, because I didn't do anything. And I didn't want to get in trouble for doing anything. And C, because I wasn't finna, run from her and make it seem like I was doing something. So I just turned myself in, basically. So we're in the office for about 3 class periods. She finally calls me and she was like, I'm really, really proud of you. And I want to tell you that before anything else. She was like, you handled yourself so well. You didn't argue back with her. You kept your composure, you know what I'm saying? She was like, but I do have to suspend you because you did say that you would fight her. Something about our messages. She was like, if you stop messaging these people back, you'll stay out of trouble. You're letting it get to you, and I'm glad that you're handling it better. But because you said that you would fire her, I have to suspend you, da-da-da-da. So when my dad came, she was like, I'm really proud of her. I want to let you know that, but I have to suspend her because of da-da-da-da. Well, during this suspension, I actually had a meeting with the school board because I was about to get kicked out. And if I didn't convince them that I wanted to stay, I was going to have to go to public school. Now, mind you, I haven't wanted to go to public school since 6th grade. I came to that school in 5th grade. I was done by 6th grade. I couldn't no more. So I was ready to go. So I'm in the, meeting, and I'm just kind of just like sitting there. And she was like, do you want to come back? I was like, I guess. My parents want me to come back. I'm just like, I already don't want to be here. I didn't say that, but that's what I was thinking. Like, I already don't want to be here. You're about to make me sign a paper that agrees that I do want to come back. Like, no, I don't at all. But, they, at the end of the meeting, they gave me a second chance to come back. And on the ride home, my dad was just telling me all this stuff about public school. You know how, like, if you say the wrong things, they'll jump you, and the education's bad, and you don't want to be around all that. Mind you, my public school is nothing like that. Those kids don't do nothing. They fight over dumb stuff, and then most of the time they can't even fight. So, I have a really slick mouth at my school now, and I've gotten into a lot of almost fights, and I got into a fight with a boy. But that's a different story for a different day. Comment down below if you want to hear that story when I got into a fight with a boy. But if not, whatever. Moving on. So I came back, and my IT teacher was like, they let you back in here? I was like, yeah, I'm back. After you snitched on me. So I was on my last behavioral contract. Like, if I broke this one, I was done. So, y'all, I was doing so good until it got to the end of the school year, y'all. I had went through cheer tryouts. I had did any and everything, preparing myself for the next school year to be better. I had made it. I was about to be done and out and not have to worry about nothing. I was going to be safe. You know how, like, it's kind of like when you're in jail and it's your release date, or your release date is coming up, and all you gotta do is stay out of trouble for these next few days, and you can literally see the light at the end of the tunnel. You're out, and you get to start over. That's how it's feeling. So I'm doing good. Me and Olivia was cool. Me and Annabelle was cool. Me and Genesis was cool. Shoot, even me and Maddie was cool. We was all cool until the end of the school year. I was in class, in my reading class. We were in the library doing a crossword puzzle, and it was my second day doing it. So I was really upset because it took me 2 days to do a freaking crossword puzzle. So when I got done, I was relieved, you know what I'm saying? And Olivia and this girl named Megan asked me to borrow my crossword because we were on the same team, so or in the same group. So I let them use it so they could finish theirs. And I don't know what happened, y'all. Honestly, I got on my iPad and I really don't know what happened. All I hear and all I see, I look up and I see Olivia and Megan fighting with my paper. And Olivia says, if you don't give me this paper, I'm going to rip it in half. So pause. You know how in the movies when something happens and in your mind it pauses and you the person kind of just turns and talks to the camera and everything in the world pauses? This is what happened. So it paused, and in my head, I went back to when Olivia ripped a girl's art project in half because the girl made her mad. Her project. Girl, this is a crossword puzzle. She would have no problem ripping that in half. So boom, I'm back, and it's playing again. So I got up and I said, Olivia, if you're my paper in half, we're gonna have a problem. She was like, what? Because I had gotten in trouble with her in the past, she knew I was on probation. She knew the things I was not allowed to do. She was like, oh, that's a threat. You threatening me now? Oh, you gonna threaten me? You know you can't, da-da-da-da, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just looking at her. And I'm like, okay. I said, if you rip my paper in half, we're gonna fight. And she was like, oh, that's a threat. That's a threat. Da, 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 da. So my teacher's freaking out. She buzzed in the office. I need somebody down here right now. Da, da, da. Because Olivia's hype. I'm not even hype. I'm literally standing there like this. My teacher's like, we need someone down here right now, right now, right now. And she's like, oh, that's a threat. That's a threat. You threatening me. Da, 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 da. She takes my paper and rips it. Now me, knowing I'm on probation, I sat down because I was not finna fight her. I just wanted my paper back. That was it. I didn't even follow through with my threat, right? So I believe I had this class third period. So this was my third period, yeah. We went down to the office. I willingly went, grabbed my stuff, just calmly walked down to the office. And I'm just sitting there. She calls her in first, right? I'm just sitting there for class period after class period after class period after class period. It gets finally to about 6 periods. She calls me in. And I see the referral on her computer screen. But it don't look the same. Like it didn't look like the rest of the referrals of mine I had seen. So she starts telling me what Olivia had told her about how I threatened her. She said, threatening is breaking my behavioral contract. I said, but I didn't even follow through. I literally sat down. I just was trying to get my paper back. And she was like, you still threatened her. I was like, she the one that's yelling and ripped my work in half, my schoolwork in half. Well, that day, I got dismissed from blank, blank, blank academy. They took my iPad. They were like, do you have any unfinished work that you need to submit? I was like, no. They cleared it. Everything. All my pictures, all my messages, everything. Gone in a second. That broke my heart. That broke my heart. It was gone like that. You know what I'm saying? I got kicked out for defending myself. I got kicked out for arguing. Like, a lot of my referrals said fighting. I never once got in a fight. The only time I got in a fight was with Jacuria, and that was marked as horseplay. So not only did I get suspended with fighting on my record, but I almost failed the 9th grade. My dean of students was like, I don't have to do this, but I'm going to freeze your grades, and I'm going to mark you as a suspension, because it was literally the last 3 days of school. She was like, I'm going to mark you as a suspension, and, you know, you won't come back next year. I'm not even allowed on the property, or I wasn't for a year. Like, they act like I killed someone, or I actually fought someone and hospitalized them. I was just arguing with people. Like, that was it. But y'all, that's the story of when I got kicked out of my high school, my freshman year. That's a wrap, y'all. Peace out. Be safe. I love you much, much, much. And make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe on this video. And y'all just have a nice rest of your day.